Alrighty, so on the bell we have focus and we have the directrix. Those are going to be two words that I'm going to use a lot for this section because here's what we're doing. The objective today is for you to know that each point on a parabola is an equidistance from something called focus and the line called the directrix. So let me just give you a visual of what that means. Here's a line, yeah? Everyone knows that as a line? This is going to have a special name when we're doing these kind of sections for parabolas. This is going to be called a directrix. Directrix. And then up here somewhere, we're going to have this point that we're going to call a focus. A focus. Okay, two very important things. We need to know where those things are all the time. Now, here's something kind of cool. If we were to find the distance between these, somewhere in between lives a point that's the same distance from here to the focus and from that point down to the directrix, correct? There should be some point there. I'll just label that real quick. So this distance, same as that distance. Now, if I were to find another point, I could place it in such a fashion where the distance to that is the same distance to the focus as it is to the directrix. So this distance would be the same as this distance. Does that make sense? Questions on that? Yeah, so the distance from here to here would be the same as the distance from here to there. And I can do that over and over and over, right? So I can find another point. Like, take a look at this one. Is that the same distance from the focus to the directrix? Does it kind of? It looks like it's farther away, isn't it? So I'd have to probably crunch it up a little bit, maybe. I'm trying to use my fingers here as a gauge. That's about right. So I'm saying, my argument is this distance is the same as this distance. And I could keep doing that, couldn't I? But you know what's going to happen eventually? What shape is this going to take on? Yeah, pretty cool, huh? It takes on the shape of a parabola.
So all of them are the same distance?
Yeah. So in a parabola, the whole parabola will always be equidistant to its focus and its directrix. Pretty awesome, yeah? No? Every one of these distances, so like let's call this distance 1. If that was distance 1, this would also be distance 1. If this was distance 2, then this would also be distance 2. This would be the same distance as this. The distance from this point to this point should be the same distance from here to there. Obviously it's not because I can't eyeball it, but that's what we're saying. That's the argument here. That if we're going to create a parabola using directrix and focus, then every single point is the same distance from the focus as it is down to the directrix. Pretty awesome idea, huh? But that's what your focus and your directrix are. Now, please remember, this is the important thing to remember, is that the directrix is the same distance to the vertex, the special one here, because it would be the bottom, right? The distance from those two are always going to be the same. Okay? Definitely need to know that. Cool, cool, cool. Let's get to it. Say that one more time. From the vertex, this special button right, the special point here. This one. Right? Now, here's another kind of cool word for you guys. All of these points that I was drawing that make up the parabola are called locus. Locus. It's very similar to focus, isn't it? But it's locus with an L. All right, let's do this. Let's start by, I already talked about what this is. We can talk about focus, the length, the focal points, all that good stuff. Here's what you need to know. These are also on your student companion, so there's no need to copy them over. They should be on that same page. If you don't have it in front of you, I want you to write these formulas down. You need to have this one, and you need to have this one. Okay? Those are the kind of like the mother function, if you will, the parent function of a parabola in the conic section form that we use. Okay? Notice it says y equals 1 over 4c multiplied by x squared. That is going to give you a vertical parabola. That means it's going to be like a smiley sad kind of thing. Either opens up or it opens down. The bottom one is going to be a horizontal parabola. It's going to open either to the left or to the right. It's going to be on its side. Notice how they swapped X and Y. That's the reason for doing that.
4C?
That is 4C. Something else very important that I need you to know is that the focus, if this is a vertical parabola, the focus will always be, wrong color. The focus will always be at this coordinate called 0, C. If we're looking at the other form, they switch places, don't they? So it's going to be at C, 0.
So you do not need to worry about H and K.
Well, what are H and K always?
Well, that's always.
What are H and K? What does H do? H. It's your horizontal shift, right? Never changes. Not anymore, ever. And what does K do? Moves it up and down. So that's why I don't even talk about those. You should already know. I think I've like beat that. I beat that dead horse.
I thought H was up and down.
No, H is horizontal. H is horizontal. K is your up and down. Okay, so if you forgot, there's a refresher for you. K is up and down. H is horizontal. Okay? Can we get to it?
Not yet.
Shauna? Shauna? Can you go see the nurse? Alright. Try to take some notes, please.
Thanks, Sarah. Wait, is that an E or a C?
Where?
Right
This is what I really need you to know right here. It's C. The letter C. The letter C. C. Probando. C. Un, dos.
I really an E, even though you said C.
Don't feel bad. Last period, I had to stop and think about what 4 times 2 was. And then someone said, that's 16. I'm like, what? And he was convinced it was 16. I was like, wait a minute, no, my bad. I think they were just like exhausted mentally. But we're almost there, right? Spring break? Yay!
Do you want us to know that last column?
No, because you should know this. You should know H and K. H moves it side to side. K moves it up and down. Okay? You guys ready? Parabolas. Parabolas. That in the form of y equals ax squared. Just real quick. If A was positive, then is my parabola smiling or is it frowning? It's smiling. And if it's negative, then it's frowning. Okay? Cool. Let's get to this. No, hold on. I can hold on. Sure. Good? No, not good. Just having some more job, huh? Oh, you're not there no more? It's good. It's not. Fast food is not good for your health, physically or mentally.
I have an interview at
Oh, very nice. You guys ready to move on? Okay, here we go. Let's do this. So here's our first question. What is an equation of a parabola that has a vertex at the origin and the focus is at 0, 2? So first I want to show you some visuals just so that you kind of see and can visualize this. Where is my vertex at? It says it's at the origin. So my vertex is right here. That is my vertex. I'll label it with a V, okay? And then it says my focus is at 0, 2. So 1, 2, there's my focus. Question, where's my directrix? It's going to be a line, but where is it at? Well, my vertex is at the origin. And remember what we said about those? The focus and the directrix are, what was the word I used? Equidistant. So if my focus is 2 units up, then my directrix should be 2 units down. So 1, 2, and I'm just going to draw a line there. That is a bad line. But that is my directrix. Also know this. I can get coordinates for a focus because it is a point. But is my directrix one point? No. It's going to be an equation of a line. So when they ask you for that, make sure that you do it correctly. I'm crossing the y-axis when? When at -2. Always. So there's that equation, okay? Now that's just a side note, because I want you guys to be able to see that. And of course this would just go bleh, something like that, okay? The question is really, what's the equation of this parabola, correct? If my focus is really there and the origin is at 0, 0. Well, let's stop and think real quick. What was that parent function for this type of problem? Okay, so in order to finish this, I need C, don't I? I need C. Well, I know the focus is always in the form of 0, comma C. So what is C, my friends? 2. That means that y equals 1 over 4 times 2x squared. The equation is 1/8 x squared. Math. Got these notes, G? Any questions on any part of this? What do you got?
I just kind of missed all of it. Like I was listening, but it just didn't.
Okay. So, all of this that I drew on this side, it was just like, just visuals. Okay. Let's answer this. Let's clear this up, and let's answer just the question alone. The question here says, what is the equation of the parabola with the vertex at the origin and the focus at 0, 2? Okay. Well, if it's at the origin, if my vertex is at the origin, that means it hasn't been moved. There is no h and k, right? So, what is the parent function here in conic section form for a parabola?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You got it in this slide.
Oh, that one?
The ones I said, make sure you know those in the green.
Which one?
Well, this is fantastic question. Fantastic question. So, the question is, which one is it, right? Is it a vertical parabola or is it a horizontal parabola? And we never asked that question, did we? We never asked that question. So what I did was I sketched those. I said, all right, my vertex is here. My vertex is here, and they told me my focus was here, correct? Now, if this was a side-to-side parabola, a horizontal parabola, it would have to do something like this. Can that be? No, because my focus has to be inside, doesn't it?
Is that where the whole like 0, comma C thing came in? Because that's where
Yes, this is 0, comma C. All right? Now let me get rid of that and that and that. Okay? So here's what I know. Because I do have this, I do have a vertical parabola. So I need to use the form of y equals 1 over 4c x squared. Now my focus is in the form of 0, comma c, isn't it? So what is c? 2. Plug it in.
Oh, okay.
And there's your equation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How do you put that? Okay. Never mind. I'll ask that.
Did you just answer your own question?
I'll answer that question. Or ask it when it comes.
No, ask it now.
No, I don't.
Please, ask it now. Perky, perky, please. Perky, perky.
I don't do whatever I do that.
Stop.
So you don't plug in the eggs.
No, because we only want C to finish up this formula here. Okay? That was easy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, let's not go easy no more. Now, let me challenge your thinking a little bit here. Here's my equation. I'm going to give you the equation. It reads y is negative 1/12 x squared. just with that alone, I need you to tell me what the vertex is, where the focus is, and where the directrix is. I'll give you guys 3 minutes to think about this.
your dad yet. Sit down.
All right, what'd you guys come up with? Let's have the dojo pick somebody. Let's have the dojo while and tell someone. Top you? Is it? No, I thought you were like volunteering because you're looking at like, I just want to do it. Here we go. Brian O'Connell! you come up with?
Well, you know how the
Any one of them?
equation is like y equals 1/4?
Uh-huh. Y equals 1/4 cx squared. What about it?
So I divided by 4, so 4 divided by 4.
You divide it by 4?
12 divided by
4 divided by 4.
You did 12 divided by 4? Why would you do that? To find the c? Ah, very nice. So you're saying c is 3?
-3?
Oh, yeah.
-3. Good job. So, yeah, absolutely. Ask yourself the question, how does this become this? Well, it had to be, c had to be a 3, right? So for my focus, I know it's in the form of 0, comma c, so that should read 0, comma -3. Well, then what's my vertex? 0, 0. Why 0, 0? Because there's no h and k over there, right? So it's not shifted anywhere. That means it's at the origin, so 0, 0. Now, I'm just going to sketch those because I'm not as good as you guys at visualizing it. 1, 2, 3. So here's my focus. This is my vertex. That means that my directrix, if my focus is 3 down, then my directrix should be up 3. So 1, 2, 3. So it should be right here. And the equation should be y equals 3. Boom.
So they have to go opposite ways from
Yes,
the
it's a must. Because remember, every point in between is equidistant from those two things, aren't they? So, yeah.
It has to be the same distance from the origin.
Yeah. Well, not the origin, the vertex. Because if we were to move the whole thing up, then is my vertex still at the origin? No, but I understand which question you're saying, but I wanted to make sure I cleared that up. Because it won't always be the origin.
So basically, wherever the vertex is, it's that middle spot that just
Yeah.
the distance between.
Exactly. And just to kind of piggyback off what you just said, if I do have any kind of shifts, I ignore them. I work with it as if it was in the origin, and then I moved everything together. That way I don't have to think about all that, adding, subtracting type stuff. So good point. All right, cool. How was this one? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Not so bad, huh? All right, cool. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. Oh, you guys want to try this one? Give you guys 1 minute for this. They want an equation for a parabola where the vertex is at 0, 0, and the focus is at 0, comma negative 1.5. Let's do one. We'll do 1 minute. And if we need more, then we'll do more. I can always hit play again.
Yeah.
I got a song in my head. Hyperbolic paraboloid. Hyperbolic paraboloid. Isn't that beautiful? Whoop. You see that? Whoop. Do we need more time?
I'm getting this stuff fixed. I feel like I'm genius because I'm letting you guys.
Sticks and stones may break my bones. Origami. Look at all this origami. Can you imagine that? Getting put into a little rocket? Psh, out in space. Deploying. Capturing sun waves everywhere. Alright, that's time. Here comes the dojo! Gavin! What'd you come up with? Alright, so let's decide first. Is this going to be a vertical parabola or a horizontal parabola? So what I like to do, just to check that real quick, is sketch those. So here's my vertex, right? That means my focus is below that. So that tells me right there, doesn't it? What type of parabola is it? No, it has to be vertical. It has to be go up, down. Because remember, that has to be inside, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So once I do this, I say, oh, that's a vertical parabola. That means, which formula am I going to use?
1 over 4c x squared.
And what is c, Davin?
Negative 1.
And just throw it in there. So 4 times negative 1.5 x squared. So y is negative 6, right? Because it's 1 and a half of those 4s. 1 4 is 4 and half of 4 is 2. Now, you can put that negative down here. You can put it up top. You can put it up front. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Good. Cool. How was that, Davin? Not so bad? Thought about it too much, huh? I know. I do that too. Yeah?
So
Yeah, the x and y's are switched.
oh shit.
Yeah. If you're not working with parabola, vertical parabola, and you're working with horizontal, all the x, y's switch place. So the equation would be x equals 1 over 4c y squared, and then the vertex would be at c comma 0. C comma 0. Okay? All right. What else? What else? All right. Almost went by. I gotta shave, it's getting itchy right here now.
We just grow it all out.
I've done it one time.
Do it again.
Once you get past the itchiness, then you're good. Because it gets too long already. I did one time when I drew on my mustachio.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of that.
Yeah.
I forgot what teacher showed me.
A nice mustachio.
Do it.
He had it curled.
Yeah. You know how much I wish I had the little sponge balls, the little red balls? Because like I remember one time like there was a kid I was passing by and they started like they waited till I wasn't looking and they started making fun of me. They were going like doo 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 doo. Like, hey Mario. I wish I had the little balls so I could turn around and be like doo doo doo. But I didn't have them. I was like that would have been perfect, right? That would have been the best. Doo 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 doo. But Mario's mustache was not as good as mine was. Okay, now, parabolas in the x equals a y squared form. If a is positive, which way should the parabolas face? This way or that way? Yeah, they should be pointing to the positive numbers. Okay? And if it's a negative a, then the parabola is going to point over to the negatory numbers. Okay? Cool, cool, cool. Are we good on this slide? All right, cool. Here we go. So, same thing as before. This time, though, they said, what is the equation of parabola? The vertex is at the origin, and the directrix is at 1.25. So, I just want to verify this real quick, that I am working with what they say. My vertex is at 0, 0, and my directrix is at 1.25. So, somewhere in here. The equation to this directrix is x equals 1.25. So if there's my directrix, here's my vertex, where's my focus? It's going to be at negative 1.25, comma 0. Well, if I want to write the equation, what do I care about? What's the only thing I really want? C. And because this is a horizontal parabola, my focus is in the form of C, comma 0. Remember I said the x's and y swap places? So all I got to do is plug it in. So, I almost wrote y. JK, smiley face, LOL. X is equal to 1 over 4c y squared. X is equal to 1 over 4 times negative 1.25 y squared. X is equal to negative 1 over 5 y squared. And there's my equation. Yeah? Yeah? Ring, 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 ring.
It turned negative because it was.
Well, remember this was a negative 1.25, right? So what's a positive times a negative?
Where'd you get the negative sign?
From our focus, right over here.
Okay, since they're opposite.
Yeah, because this is 0, 0, correct? Right here? And if this is 1.25 away, then this should also be 1.25 away, but it just turns out that it ends up being on the negative side, hence the negative symbol. Okay? How are you feeling, Saucy Dough? That flu's something else, isn't it? Did you get fever?
Yeah, and I got a little migraines with it too.
None as delicious as a fever. You can't get warm. Did you go through that? Like it's hot, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold. Like, oh my god. Not sure what that's about. Make me feel all cray cray. I'm glad you're better. In time for spring break. Knowing me though, I'll probably get sick on Friday and just ruin my spring break. That's what happened to my fall break and my winter break. Sick from both of them. So upset. So upset. So y'all better stay away if you're sick. I'm gonna spray you with some sanitizer. I'm gonna walk around with a can of Lysol. Back away. I got plans for spring break, man.
Did you decide that you're going to Flagstaff?
Yeah, we are. And I think we're gonna rent a cabin
Where at?
out there in the canyon. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's in the canyon. That would be awesome, huh?
Is it over the good?
But they don't have bathrooms, so it's like.
There's trees.
I got my little shovel. Well, look, because we were looking into getting a hotel for the night, but they run you like $60, and to rent the cabin, which is one room with no amenities, it was still $60. So it's like, I think I'd rather go with the cabin, right? Because then we can just go right into the Grand Canyon and not have to drive out there. Because it's an hour away from Flag.
It's a pretty drive though.
It's yeah.
Trees.
It's all right.
Drive up there.
Because 4 times 1.25 is 5. Oh, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. Oh, don't look at us. Thanks for catching that. That should be square, guys. My bad. Good looking now. I did it because in the camera it's flipped, so it looks like it too. What's up?
When I was over there on vacation, I didn't go to Grand Canyon, but I went to some other creek. Like, it was supposed to be like a mile walk, but we went on a different trail. It was like 4.3 miles just to get down to this cave.
That's not too bad though.
But it was like steep.
Oh, then yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I'm also thinking about that pepper sauce caves. I want to do that.
It got so bad.
Sounds really fun.
It got so bad I had to carry my dad's bag.
Oh, not good. All right, ready, guys? Any questions on this slide? Let me see those thumbs. Thumbs. Super duper dude. Sale vale. Let's go. This is a good question. Here's what you get. They give you the equation. Here's the equation to the parabola. This is not a directrix. This is an equation to the parabola. It is 0.075 y squared. Find the vertex. Find the focus. Find the directrix. Give you guys 2 minutes.
Wait a minute. What?
That is not a directrix, guys. That is the equation to the parabola. Find the pertinent information. Find what you need. You quit before you started. Don't do that.
Oh, well, look,
I
nope.
was this part makes it a while.
That's a whole lot of notebooks.
You ever do that? No. It was one winter and my lips were really cracked, and like that's the best thing that I knew. So I would just put it on, and I would just keep putting it on, and I got like, I won't say addicted, but I needed to like have my lips moist.
I
So
thought
I
you just said it randomly. I didn't see
well, I
it.
saw the comics, so I was
I
like,
was like, right?
oh, that is weird. The other one that hooked me was the eels. The eels one. They smell amazing. It's like, oh my god, the cucumber one. This is my backpack right now. I'm not looking at the text anymore. Oh, I got a charger just like that. Oh, yeah, with the little my block. That was from Evo. Is that from Evo? Oh, it was from the Evo. What was that? Was it Samsung? Remember the Evo? The first 14? Evo. That's not a bad time, though.
Someone's getting all emo up on my desk.
Emo?
Yeah.
Or
Someone
Evo.
wrote one of my pilots.
Evo or emo?
Someone wrote wireless violence.
Time's up. How'd you guys do?
I almost did for this.
Stumped? Stumped? I think you thought about this too much. Check this out. Convert that 0.75 into a fraction. What should it read?
3/4.
3/4 y squared, correct? Now here's... That's the third time I do that today. Oh, I decided on the camera. All right. I'm glad. You probably did catch me. So here's what you ask yourself. Shh. I'm still laughing. X is equal to 1/4 y squared, correct? So the question is, how did this become this? So you can just actually do some math. Oh my God. In math class? How dare I?
Where did you get 3 from?
0.75.
Convert that to a fraction.
Oh, that's
So here's what I did. I said, hey, math, answer me this. When does 3/4 equal 1/4 c? Cross multiply. That is 4. That is 12c. Divide both sides by 12. Oh, that means that c had to equal 1/3. Math. So now I can write all these, can't I? Okay. Obviously, I see that there's no switches. So my vertex should be at 0. Did I say switches? There's no shifts. There's no shifts. My focus should be at 1/3, comma 0.
Wait, you said 12? Oh, it's 12.
We're good? There's no switches here. And then my directrix, where should my directrix be at?
Negative.
Yeah, but what is it? Is it y equals or x equals?
X equals.
Oh, good question, isn't it?
Wait, no, it's X equals.
It's X equals because it's the thing.
It's a horizontal one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means, let's see here. I just want a quick visual. Here's my vertex. My focus is on this side. So my directrix has to be here. It crosses the x-axis. So it's going to be an x equals negative 1/3. Dun, 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 dun. Mathematics. So easy. Easy.
Oh, the live stream.
What?
The live stream audio.
What? It's all good. today.
You sounded like my abuelita when fireworks go off at the thing. She always goes, oi.
Oi. Okay. Can I switch the slide?
No.
No, of course not. Tell me about it, Mr. Munoz.
I'm just trying to like understand like why you cross multiply. Like I get it, but like if I were looking at that, I wouldn't have thought to do that. Like the equation. I don't know.
Well, the question should be obvious question. How did this from the parent function become this from the actual equation? So I asked that question right here. When did 3/4 equal 1/4 C? Now, how you solve it at this point is totally up to you. We've already solved the equation like that. Those are rational expressions, aren't they? So cross multiplying is the fastest way. But if you didn't see that, you could have also done this. Oh, what's my common denominator? Oh, it's 4C, isn't it? So I can go 4C, 4C. The 4s would cancel here. I get 3C. That's all gone. I get 1. Divide both sides by 3. Oh my God, look, it's 1/3 again. Math! Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, totally up to you how you want to solve that equation, okay? I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Oh, don't talk. I don't cry right now. Yes. I'm gonna buy it so I can torture my kids one day. My girl. I might go too.
My girl is so emotional.
Sequels are never that good. But yeah, oh my God. And you know what? I actually choked up in the play.
Really?
Yeah, when the little boy was like, they were talking to dad, and dad's had to change of heart, and he's like, I love you, daddy. I was like, I choked up. I believed it. I was like in the moment, and I'm like, oh man.
Oh, yes.
I had forgot about that, but I just remembered when we talked about that. I was like, I got choked up in the play. My wife laughed at me, but
Is it like when they were like towards the end?
it was towards the end when dad had to change of heart, and he was like something, and then Charlie's like, I love you,
I love you,
dad.
Daddy. He's like,
Yeah.
"That's fine."
It was just so genuine. I was like, I got caught up in the moment. It was good. All right, here's the next one. Now, no, are we out of time?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
Time
we
flies
are.
when we're having fun. Let me jump over real quick to look at all those we didn't get to.
But we won't. Yeah, Munoz, please don't.
What?
Don't go.
We're not going to
No, I'm not gonna do the fast thing. Well, I wonder why we took so long.
Your stories.
My story. Yes.
Are we going to have an 8?
Had a lot of stories today. No, you guys should be fine with all of them. Here's the only thing I do need to point out, because the homework gonna have this one, guys. You already have all the tools that you need, but I do want to show this real quick. Here is y equals x squared minus 4x plus 8. And they want you to find the vertex, the focus, and the directrix. Notice that it's in standard form. It's in standard form. You need to convert it into that vertex form, if you will. And that's not something so easy to do. What skill do you need? Do you guys remember this? Algebra, definitely, but what's the... what I want to do is complete the square. So what I need to do is complete the square. That means I've got x squared minus 4x, and I kick out the 8, don't I?
Oh, I forgot.
That's completing the square. Now, this is not a difficult thing. I'm just going to finish this one up. I want to write this part right here to be some type of square binomial. And it goes like this. I'm going to write x because x times x is x squared. What is half of negative 4? It's negative 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now negative 2 squared, because of the square, becomes a positive 4. That positive 4 was not there. How do I bounce my equation again? If I just put a 4 in, what else can I do? Take the 4 out. So I'm going to go minus 4. When I combine that, this becomes a plus 4. There's my equation. It has 2 shifts, doesn't it? It's got the vertical shift in it because of the h, which is a positive 2, and it has a vertical shift of 4. But,
Wait,
go ahead.
I don't know how you got.
Which 4? This one here? Well, what is negative 2
Oh, okay.
squared? Okay, that's the old complete the square thing. Now, if you're trying to get C, remember, this should be y equals 1 over 4c x squared, correct? What you see starting from here is starting here. It's x blah plus blah, correct? What I'm after is the number in front of that. What number is there? 1. So when did 1 over 4c become a 1? And that's what you're going to solve for C. So it's stuff we've already done. From the previous slides, you already know how to find all that others, what questions to ask, and how to find the values of C. So the only thing that's different here is I have to complete the square. Okay? Guys, thanks. That's all I've got.